Yo, tapping in real quick for this UFC fight night that'll be taking place in Paris, France, between Renat, Money Moicano, and Benoit, God of War, Saint Denis. In this video right here, we're just going to chop it up for a few minutes about this new addition that's just been added to the card. We now have 14 fights for this card. Taylor Loplius versus Vince Morales has been added to the card, and Taylor opened up as a significant favorite, currently sitting at minus 350 on the money line, leaving Vince sitting at a plus 285 on the money line, and we will talk about that matchup momentarily. Listen, we already been through this, so the only thing we're going to do is run through the names on this list from bottom to top, momentarily stopping at the Taylor versus Vince matchup to chop it up about that one for a couple minutes and keep it pushing. You know what I'm talking about? As there is no need to keep anybody here any longer than absolutely necessary. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I do believe that we do now have the official lineup as far as this fight card is concerned for the UFC fight night that'll be taking place in Paris, France. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. The first fight of the night, kicking off the card, is one of the individuals that I have wrapped up in my main parlay. Oki, 9-1, currently sitting at minus 230 on the money line, against Duncan, 11-2, currently sitting at plus 180 on the money line. And I am still very much on the side of Oki to be the one to get this one done in some way, shape, form, or fashion to secure this victory and kick off this card properly while also securing the first leg of my parlay in the process. You understand what I'm saying to you? Second fight of the night is the women's MMA matchup. The rematch between these two young women in this women's MMA matchup. And I am still siding with the dog to be the one to get this one done in some way, shape, form, or fashion. More times than not, just making Jacqueline be the one who's on the wrong side of the decision at the end of the night. Very much like, you know, Nora was the one who was on the wrong side of the decision in their first matchup. But I still strongly believe that the involvement on Nora's side since their first matchup and the body of work she's been able to produce is just a bit better, man. And I do, you know, stand firmly on my pick that Nora's going to be the one to get this one done. So that's my first dog on this card, where I have quite a few dogs that I expect to bark. You know what I'm talking about? But Nora, plus 155 on the money line. She's 8-1. That one loss comes via being on the wrong side of a decision to Jacqueline in their first matchup. Jacqueline, she's 7-1. You know what I'm talking about? Currently sitting at a minus 195 on the money line. And in my personal opinion, she's going to come out on the wrong side of a decision, man. If the finish presents itself, Nora will take that. But it's still Nora at plus 155 to improve to 9-1. Get that loss back and set these two young women up for a rubber match somewhere down the road, you know, in this promotion or another one. You know what I mean? Later on in their careers. But Nora is still very much the pick. Moving on, man. Third fight of the night. Still a fight I want absolutely nothing to do with, and I highly advise everybody to have absolutely nothing to do with. But it's Daniel versus Victor. Daniel, 16-6, currently sitting at a minus 132 favorite on the money line, up against Victor's 12-4, who's currently sitting at a plus 107, slight underdog. And you know, for the sake of a pick, I'm rocking with the dog. You can give me Vic to get this one done in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But again, I want absolutely nothing to do with this fight, man. You know what I mean? But for the sake of a pick, that is my second dog, you know, on this card, man. I'm not confident in him. It is just for the sake of a pick. It's not a dog or pass type situation. It's just, I feel, you know, I feel like he's the better out of the two. And that's not saying a whole lot, because I don't think either one of these individuals have a very high ceiling in any promotion, anywhere, moving forward. But that's just me, man. Fuck this fight. Daniel, minus 132, favorite on the money line, against Victor, plus 107 underdog. I'm taking the dog, but I have no plays on this fight in any way, shape, form, or fashion at all. You know what I'm talking about? Unless we're talking about you know, all 14 fights on the app, and I'm putting $14 on it. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe I'll play this fight. You feel me? But for haymakers and Hail Marys and 8, 9, and 10 leggers on a 14 fight card for the few fights that I want absolutely nothing to do with, complete pass, man. You know what I'm talking about? So, moving on, man. Taylor, minus 350 on the money line. Taylor is 20-4. He's going against Vince, who's 16-7 and currently sitting at a plus 285 on the money line. And I am very much on the side of my guy, Taylor, to be the one to get this one done via unanimous decision, possibly 3 rounds to none. If the finish presents itself inside the distance via KO, TKO, via submission in a club and sub type situation, or he just takes him to the ground and finds his submission, he'll take it, but he won't aggressively or recklessly chase after it. You understand what I'm saying to you? He's very smart, very sharp, has a very good IQ, man. He's very solid, very strong, very well-rounded, man. Not a whole lot, matter of fact, not really anything bad I have to say about Taylor, man. He's solid, man. He's well-rounded, absolutely everywhere. He can prove to be dangerous, but more times than not, he's just going to go out there and produce the all-around better body of work absolutely everywhere over the course of 15 minutes to secure the unanimous decision. And while doing so, also securing the second leg of my main parlay. You know what I'm talking about, with Oki being the first one, based off the way that this fight card is now lined up. Taylor will be the second one, man. You know what I mean? I was looking for another motherfucker that I was just hands down 10 out of 10 confident in. You know what I mean? And adding Taylor to this motherfucking card, regardless if it's on short notice or not, because he's an individual who stays ready. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, he one of my most confident picks, man. He's, again, as far as this order is concerned, the second leg of my main parlay. And I have no worries that he's going to come through and secure that victory to do so in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Moving on, we have Dara versus Aylin. If I'm saying Dara's, I don't even know if I'm saying old girl's name right or not. If I'm not and somebody knows the proper way, you know what I'm saying, you can tap in the comment section and check me real quick. Respect. But as of right now, it's Dara. You know what I'm talking about? And Aylin. Dara's currently sitting as a plus 200 on the money line. Dara's 9-1 to Aylin's 10-2. Currently sitting at a minus 250 on the money line. And it is what it is, man. You know, Aylin is still the pick to be the one to get this one done in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and then just start twerking in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? And doing what she does, I guess. You feel me? With all due respect to Dara, man, I'm not personally high on either side. You know what I mean? I'm not high on either one of these young women in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But with that being said, man, I do believe Aylin to be just a bit too much for Dara. Based off of the tape that I've seen, based off of what I have seen from Aylin and the tape that I've seen on Old Girl, with all due respect, I believe Aylin's just going to be a bit too much for her, man. Which is what she's going to need to be, because if I'm not mistaken, Dara's the one on home turf, man. You know what I mean? But as we've seen, as of lately, if you go out there and you're able to produce the better all-around body of work over the course of 15 or 25 minutes, regardless of whose backyard you're in, you can get that win. You know what I'm saying? So, it's still Aylin, man. But it's women's MMA. It's not anything locked up in any of my main plays. Maybe a haymaker for the prelims, you know what I'm talking about? But that's all. Aylin's still the pick. Ludovic Klein, currently sitting at minus 770 on the money line. 22-4-1, going against Roosevelt Roberts. 12-4, currently sitting at a plus 525 on the money line, man. Ludovic's the pick, but as you noticed, I didn't say anything about him being my third leg in my main parlay. He's over minus 770. He's over minus 500. He's a minus 770. You can miss me with that shit. You know what I'm talking about? And I wouldn't dare try to lock up a double chance or a method or some type of route to victory in one of my main parlays. No, my main parlay is money lines, man. I'm not using props. I don't manipulate the fight. I don't do anything like that when it comes to my main parlay. I try to keep this clean, you know what I mean, as possible, man. And over minus 500, miss me with that shit, because it does nothing when I attach it as a third leg anyway. Fourth leg or a fifth fucking leg. Doesn't do anything until you make it an eighth, ninth, or 10th leg. So it's got to be only involved in haymakers, you know what I'm saying? Ludovic is very much the pick. But minus 770 is also very much fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm talking about? Even for Ludovic, even though he's going up against Roosevelt. You know what I'm saying? Like, still, I don't see a night where Roosevelt Roberts could possibly ever walk away victorious from a fight with Ludovic Klein. But with that being said, minus 770 is fucking ridiculous for Ludovic Klein up against anybody inside the UFC octagon. Because he has never, once, ever, in my personal opinion, ever gone out and looked minus 770, minus 700, minus 650, minus 500. You know what I'm talking about? Like, Ludovic's another individual very much like Taylor Loblius, man. Very smart, very sharp, very good IQ, very solid, very well-rounded. You know what I'm talking about? Very strong, very solid game. You know what I'm talking about? Not necessarily the biggest finisher, though, and doesn't aggressively or recklessly search or pursue the finish. You know what I'm talking about? He'll very much piece you up and let you get back up. You know what I mean? If he feels like you're a bit too dangerous for him down there and that's giving you an opportunity. You understand what I'm saying to you? More times than not, Ludovic's the kind of guy that'll come out there and just produce the better all-around body of work absolutely everywhere over the course of 15 minutes to secure a decision. If the finish presents itself, he'll take it, but he won't go crazy trying to, you know what I mean, to get it. You feel what I'm saying to you? So I can't pick him to win via KO, TKO, or decision. He might get the submission. I can't pick him to win via submission or decision. He might get the the knockout. I can't pick him to win KO, TKO, or submission. He might just win a unanimous decision. You know what I'm talking about? Fuck this fight from a betting perspective, unless we talking about haymakers. But Ludovic is still very much the pick. You know what I'm talking about? Moving on. Umar, currently sitting at minus 420 on the money line, 10-0, taking on Jung, who's 15-5-1, currently sitting at a plus 310 on the money line. And I am still very much so on the side of Umar's side to be the one to get this one done in some way, shape, form, or fashion, whether that be via KO, TKO, from clipping and disconnecting Jung from his consciousness, via, submission from a club and tub type situation, or via submission from just, securing the takedown, searching for the submission, sinking it in, locking it up, and getting him out of there like that, or KO, TKO from a ground and pound type situation from top position. You understand what I'm saying to you? Or just producing a better body of work absolutely everywhere over the course of 15 minutes if it goes a distance and Jung is able to survive. It's very much so Umar to be the one to get it done. And while doing so, securing the third, I'm talking about, and final leg of my main parlay. You know what I'm talking about? And I very much so have 3 units on that motherfucker, man. 3 legs at 3 units. You know what I'm saying? So that's my main banger, and that's my foundation for anybody who cares to be involved in that or have any interest in, being involved, having that involved in any parlays in any way, shape, form, or fashion. My foundation resides on the prelims, and I'm gonna have a whole lot of action on the prelims. If we keeping it funky, I'm gonna have a whole lot of action all over this whole motherfucking card. But my foundation from biggest favorite down is Umar at minus 420, right underneath that 500. You know what I'm talking about? And then Taylor at minus 350, and Oki at minus 230. For what it's worth, that's my foundation. That is where I will start to build my parlays from. You know what I'm talking about, for this fight card. So Umar, very much the pick, man. Why they have this one lined up as the headliner for the prelims, I don't know. I can only imagine that Ion sitting at minus 132, favorite on the money line. 17, 10, and 1 going against Ivan, 14 and 3, who's a slight underdog at plus 107 on the money line. I can only imagine that they put this one as the prelim headliner because it's going to be fucking fireworks. For as long as it lasts, it's going to be fireworks, and you might as well end the prelims with a little bit firework display. You know what I'm talking about? Regardless, I think a lot of these fights are going to be very fucking clean. Very clean work. You know what I mean? Some of them may be very one-sided, while others, you know, so far, the ones that we've talked about on the prelims are going to be very clean and very competitive, very technical for the level of opposition that these individuals are on, man. I'm telling you, man. You know what I mean? Oki's going to go in there and put on a clean body of work, man. He's going to get dunking the fuck up out of there in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It's going to be clean. Nora, Jacqueline, clean work, technical, competitive. These young women, they're going to have a nice fucking fight. And Nora's going to take that one, man. Daniel versus Victor, that's just going to be a bit sloppy. In my personal opinion, that one's going to be a bit sloppy. High volume. They're going to be absolutely everywhere, all over the motherfucking place, especially Victor. You know what I'm talking about? I just feel like he's going to be a bit too overwhelming. You know what I mean? A bit too much for Daniel to really get a handle on, get a read on, get a good control on this motherfucker. And before you know it, it's over, and Vic got the little split decision or unanimous decision. That's going to be a bit sloppy. Taylor versus Vince, clean work from Taylor, man. Clean work. Vince ain't, you know, he ain't that bad. He pretty well-rounded, you know what I'm talking about, but Taylor got him absolutely everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? Dara versus Aileen, it's going to be competitive. It's going to be technical, you know what I mean? I just believe Aileen's going to be the one that's going to be a bit too overwhelming and too much for Dara. Ludovic versus Roosevelt, clean work, man. Clean work. Umar versus Jung, clean work. Ion versus Ivan, fireworks, man. Fireworks. So I get it. We're going to have some, you know what I mean? We might have some shit slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? Some shit might get done with the quickness. Some things might slow down and go to full, 15 minutes, the whole distance, and be very competitive. And then fuck it, let's give him some fireworks to cap off the prelims. I can dig it. I'm with Ivan, though. I'm still on Ivan to get Ion the fuck up out of there in some way, shape, form, or fashion and make him 17, 11, and 1 and let Ivan improve to 15 and 3. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is, man. On to the main card, man. Kicking off the main card. Zaim. I got Zaim wrapped up. I already got Zaim wrapped up in parlays. They on my community wall. You understand what I'm saying to you? But as I said before, my main legs and my foundation is very much Umar, Taylor, and Oki, and I build from there. You understand what I'm saying to you? But at least I'm not trying to build from minus 420, minus 350, or minus 230, because that minus 420, minus 350, and minus 230 wraps together. You know what I'm talking about? And I believe puts me right at a plus money number. You know what I mean? I haven't done the math on it yet. I believe it puts me right there like around plus 10 something. If not, I'm at like minus 1 something. You understand what I'm saying to you? But that's still better to build off for me than trying to build off of my fucking minus 420, minus 350, or minus 230. You know what I'm talking about? Then I just got to talk about adding 1 or 2 legs to those 3. You know what I mean? Maybe some swap out options, and it is what it is, man. We'll talk about that in another video. Zaim, minus 103. 15 and 4, currently sitting at minus 103 on the money line. To the Frivola, Matt, the steamroller, 11, 4 and 1, who's currently sitting at minus 121 on the money line. Pretty much a pickle, man. You know what I mean? This line is going to look like this all the way till fight night. It's going to go back and forth in my personal opinion, man. The same way we have the steamroller at minus 121 and Zaim at minus 103. They'll both be like minus 110, 110, minus 118, 118. You know what I'm talking about? Then Zaim's going to probably be minus 125 and old boy's going to be like, you know what I mean? It's going to go back and forth. It's going to go back and forth. So for whatever side you like on, like, you know what I mean, throughout the next 9 wake-ups, the lines are just going to keep working for you and then kind of creeping away and then coming back to you. You know what I'm talking about? But either way, whoever you like, it's a good money line. It's a good price tag to attach to a parlay. And also for swap-out options, you know what I mean? I'm still very much on Zaim to be the one to go ahead and get this one done. in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Would I be surprised if he snatched up Matt Frivola's neck in a front choke or a guillotine and wrap guard while they're dry early, and Matt tries a motherfucking, you know, shoot for a power double or something underneath one of Zaim's combinations? I would not. Zaim knows how to use those motherfucking limbs to his advantage, man. Zaim knows motherfuckers want to take his ass to the ground, man. You know what I'm talking about? And I wouldn't be surprised if he locked up a submission. I wouldn't be surprised if he caught the Steamroller slipping in those late minutes of the third round when Steamroller's looking for a finish because he feel like he might be down 2 rounds to none, 1 round apiece. Either way you look at it, I need this motherfucking round, man. You know what I'm talking about? And if he gets a bit too aggressive, like he's known to do, searching for and pursuing that finish in the late minutes, he could get finished in his own right. In my personal opinion, man. Zaim, much like Ludovic Klein and Taylor, I'm not comparing him to him, saying the same level of opposition or anything like that. I'm saying much like him in the way he approaches a fight. And their approaches to the fight are very fucking similar in my personal opinion, man. They're very solid individuals. They are very well-rounded individuals. They are very smart, very sharp, and they have very good fight IQs. They pick their shots, not necessarily the highest of volume in strikers, but they make their shit count. You know what I'm talking about? They land, even if they come in less numbers on the strikes, they come in at a, you know, usually a significantly better percentage. You know what I'm talking about? Throwing less but landing more in the less that they're throwing. You know what I mean? Motherfucker might be throwing at a 39%, 39.8% clip over there with all the strikes he's throwing and lack thereof that he's landing, while Taylor's over here throwing it like a 60, you know, 69.3% clip and touching, you know what I mean? Just doing the all-around better body of work absolutely everywhere because, like I said, solid, well-rounded, man. You know what I'm talking about? Does Matt possess the power in this matchup? Absolutely. Does Matt possess the better wrestling credentials in this matchup? Absolutely. You understand what I'm saying to you? But Zaim has been working on very efficiently. He's been working on that department, man. Because he knows individuals want to take him down. You know what I mean? It's what the motherfuckers want to do. I don't want to stand there and strike with him. He's too clean. He's going to be too clean for Matt. You know what I'm talking about? He's going to clip him. Bam, 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 bam. He's going to touch him up, man. He's going to frustrate him. And Matt might lock up and secure a couple takedowns over the course of 15 minutes, but Zaim's going to get back up. Matt's not going to be able to do anything with him, in my personal opinion. And the body of work produced by Zaim on the feet in the striking department over the course of 15 minutes will significantly outweigh the body of work that the Steamroller will be able to do if and when he locks up and secures 1 or 2, maybe 3 takedowns over the course of 15 minutes to lock up 30, 60, maybe 90 seconds of control time over the course of 15 minutes when there's still another, you know, 14 and a half, 14, or, you know, 13 and a half minutes on the feet in the striking department, whereas Zaim will do the cleaner, crisper, better work. You know what I'm talking about? And he got the hometown advantage, man. You know what I mean? So if you're not going to come in here and significantly separate yourself from the individual on home field, you know, I can't rock with you, man. Aileen, I think Aileen will, based off of pace, you know what I mean, and pressure and volume and just, you know, her continued relentlessness, you know what I'm talking about, will be able to significantly outweigh, her body of work will be able to significantly outweigh Dara's body of work enough to secure the decision if she doesn't find the finish, man. That's why I like Aileen in that matchup against Dara. You know what I'm talking about? Nora, she's on home field right now. And if Jacqueline's going to come in here and, you know, not find that finish inside the distance, which I absolutely do not believe that she can do, and put that on top of the fact that I honestly believe the involvement on Nora's side has been that much fucking better than the involvement on Jacqueline's side, man, it's Nora for me. It's Nora by split, majority, or unanimous. And if she finds the finish, then it's Nora that way too, man. But you know what I mean? That's how I look at some of these joints, man. That's how I look at some of these joints, man. Personally, you feel me? Like Frivola, if I thought he was gonna go out there and just steamroll this young boy and finish him and find a finish inside the distance, we'd be talking about him. If I thought he was gonna go out there and just lock up and secure takedown after takedown after takedown and put Zaim in multiple compromisable positions over the course of 15 minutes to secure the decision, we'd be talking about him. But I don't think he's going to do that, man. I honestly do not believe that he's going to be able to produce the better body of work over the course of 15 minutes. And I definitely don't believe he's going to be able to find a finish over Zaim, man. So it's Zaim for me. And I caught him as an underdog. Now he's minus 103. It is what it is, man. I kind of went off on that shit a little bit. But that's just how I look when we talk about that home turf and all that type shit. If I feel like you're going to go out there and produce the better all-around body of work absolutely everywhere and the decision is undeniably yours, you know what I'm talking about? If it goes the distance, then I'm fucking with you. If I don't think you can find a finish and I don't think you can produce the absolute better, the better body of work absolutely everywhere over the course of 15 minutes, I can't fuck with you, man. Especially not women's MMA, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Morgan versus Gabe, and I'm taking Gabe, man. Morgan is minus 590 on the money line, 19, 10, and 1, going against Gabe, 17 and 6, who's currently sitting at a plus 420 on the money line, and Morgan minus 500. So that was out of the question for me as far as betting and parlaying goes anyway. You know what I'm talking about? Gabe, definitely deservable of a dog play. Boy, 17 and 6, man. All 17 of those victories come via finish inside the distance. He doesn't know what it's like, you know what I'm talking about, to win a decision, if I'm not mistaken, man. You know what I mean? And Morgan's one loss, if I'm not mistaken, he has 9 losses via decision, 1 draw, and 1 loss inside the distance via submission. And if anybody's gonna get him the fuck up out of there one more again via submission inside the distance, it's gonna be Gabe, man. Listen, I get it. I absolutely get it. I picked against him. I told motherfuckers what was gonna happen when he fought Chepe. That's my homie, though. I fuck with Chepe in no way, shape, form, or fashion. Was I or will I ever go against the grain? Because that's the homie. You know what I'm talking about? But I told motherfuckers about what that matchup was going to look like with Chepe, man. You know what I mean? And I like Morgan. Morgan has a very solid, very well-rounded, all-around body of work. Like, his game, solid. Absolutely everywhere. Hence why he's only lost inside the distance once. And his other 9 losses come via decision. He's a tough motherfucker to get up out of there. He doesn't necessarily put himself in stupid positions, unnecessary situations. He knows how to stay safe, offensive, defensive. He's very fucking solid. You understand what I'm saying to you? But he likes to mix in that all-around body of work, which is what he will have to do to secure the victory over Gabe. And I just don't necessarily believe that that's the, I don't want to say the safest thing to do. Like, yeah, I don't believe it's the safest thing to do. Morgan's best bet would be to come out here and just try to kickbox Gabe, man. Gabe got popped in his shot. Let's not get it fucked up. He can catch and clip and disconnect a motherfucker from their consciousness, too. Gabe is dangerous, absolutely, everywhere this fight may take place. But Morgan's best bet and safest route to attempting to get a victory in this matchup is to keep it on the motherfucking feet and kickbox with this motherfucker. Just strike with this motherfucker. Use that octagon, use your movement, use your footwork, just use your all-around mobility and agility and stay away from this motherfucker while doing your best to just pick him apart from the outside. Because the moment you attempt to mix in takedowns, mix in grappling, to get in close to this motherfucker in any way, shape, form, or fashion, You in a danger zone. You are in dangerous territory that you probably will not get the fuck up out of. More times than not, motherfuckers don't find their way up out of it, man. They don't find their way up out of it, and you do not want to find your way in there dry. You don't want to be in there early, man. You do not want to find yourself in this man guard early, dry, trying to secure takedowns and ride top, get some control time, ground and pound, or search for your own submission, because this motherfucker's gonna sink one in. He's gonna take a fucking limb with him, whether he snaps it, you tap, or go to sleep. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's a fucking dangerous fight for Morgan, man. You're talking about a motherfucker, man, that really doesn't know what it's like to let go of a motherfucker once he gets a hold of him. You know what I mean? A motherfucker who individuals don't know what it's like to get away from once this motherfucker gets a hold of him, man. He's a bit longer. His frame, his limbs, he'll be able to use them very much to his advantage in this matchup against Morgan. He's got the reach advantage on the feet, which makes me believe Morgan will be attempting to use his all-around body of his all-around mixed martial arts game and attempting some grappling, attempting some takedowns, attempting some clinch work, attempting to get in close and just causing himself an unfortunate loss. You understand what I'm saying? Doing unnecessary shit that's going to cause you unfortunate problems is what I see happening for Morgan when he fights motherfucking Gabe. You know what I'm talking about? Because Gabe knows he's got that reach. Gabe knows he's got that pop. Gabe knows how dangerous he is, you know, if you get in close. So he can use all that pap, 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 and get to tapping at you a little bit from the outside in his own right, which frustrates you and causes you to come in, and then boy, oh boy, you're where you don't want to be. You know what I'm talking about? I'm with Gabe, man. I'm with Gabe, and I know Gabe doesn't know what it's like to win a decision. But the only way Morgan knows how to lose inside the distance is via submission, and nobody knows how to lock up, sink in, and secure that submission in this division quite as well as motherfucking Gabe, man. Like, don't get what I'm saying fucked up. There's plenty of motherfucking jiu-jitsu practitioners in this division that are magnificent. But just because you may be a higher rank, have a higher belt, or, you know what I mean, have more credentials, doesn't necessarily mean you use your guard, you know, to your advantage or as aggressively or efficiently as other individuals do en route to getting to the credentials that you possess. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, you have some individuals that you might get in there and fight with, and they credentials are out of this world in the jiu-jitsu department, but they like cracking, they like banging, you know what I mean? They like mixing their all-around game in, and they don't necessarily use it to their advantage the way that they should. Their guard is just not as active, where you got some motherfuckers who are just actively and aggressively searching for and pursuing a submission. The moment this motherfucker hits the mat, they're just throwing you in compromisable position after compromisable position until they catch you slipping in and get you out of there inside the distance. That's what I'm saying. Gabe is one of them. You know what I'm talking about? He's fucking dangerous, man. He could catch, clip, and be the first one to disconnect Morgan from his consciousness to secure the victory inside the distance that way. But I'm telling you, over the course of 15 minutes, trying to stay away from Gabe, it's not going to work well for him, man. He's at a reach disadvantage, which is going to work to Gabe's advantage, because you're going to have to close that distance a little bit. And if I can get my paws on you, motherfucker, boy, oh boy, you know what I mean? Gabe would try to drag him right the fuck down. He'll hop on something midair in the middle of the octagon, and then you're fighting this motherfucker in the middle of the octagon. You know what I mean? All wrapped up, and he's just switching and transitioning. He's one of those dudes. He's dangerous, man. Moving on, man. And Kevin versus Brian. I'm still on Brian. Kevin's a plus 125 on the money line, 10-2, going against Brian, who's 10-2, and a minus 157 on the money line. And I'm still very much siding with Brian. I know Kevin's from over there, but I feel like Brian's going to get Kevin out of there inside the distance in some way, shape, form, or fashion. At the very least, if it goes the distance and, you know what I mean, these men fight for 15 minutes, he's going to be significantly more damaged. You know what I mean? This is a new Brian right now, and I believe he's going to be a bit too much for Kevin. You know what I'm talking about? Imavov at minus 230, 14-4, going against Allen, 24-5. Currently sitting at plus 180 on the money line, and the pick is still very much Brendan Allen. You know what I'm talking about? To get this one done, via submission, man. I think he's going to find it. I think he's going to find it. And I think he's going to find it early. You know what I'm talking about? And if he doesn't find it early, I think he's going to put Imavov in multiple compromisable positions over the course of the first 7.5 to 9 minutes. You know what I'm talking about? And then if Imavov doesn't find that finish in the 5th round, he's going to lose by unanimous decision. If Imavov is able to catch and clip Brendan, but not disconnecting from his consciousness, but I said Brendan, yeah, Brendan, but hurt him and have him, you know what I mean, retreating in survival mode for the last, you know what I mean, minutes of the 5th round, then maybe this one's a draw. Maybe this one's a draw. If we have any fight on this card, it's going to be a draw, in my personal opinion. It'll be Imavov versus Allen via what I just said happening. You know what I'm talking about? Brendan Allen going out there, locking up and securing. He's no chump on the feet. Let's just get that out the way. Brendan Allen is no chump on the feet. It's not where he wants to spend the majority of this fight. It's not where he wants to spend much time of this fight at all, fucking around with Imavov. But he's no chump on the feet. So he can work in his strikes to get in motherfucking close. You know what I'm talking about? And if he is able to go out there and lock up and secure takedowns, you know, in that first round, relatively easily, you know what I'm talking about? And wear on Imavov for a bit, put him in compromisable positions, secure that round, go into the next round, do pretty much the same. Maybe Imavov gets up in the last 60 seconds, 45 seconds of the second round and starts to land a little bit of strikes, but the round is still undeniably going to Brendan based off of the motherfucking takedowns and the top control and, you know what I mean, the compromisable positions and the ground and pound. So, you know, he's down 2 rounds to none. And Brendan Allen's a bit fatigued, because while he does possess a very good gas tank, in my personal opinion, he wants this win. They both want this win. They want this win so they can continue to move forward. You know what I'm talking about? That alone comes with its own adrenaline dump. You know what I mean? And just going out there and being able to lock up and secure those takedowns and put in that good work while Imavov is fighting back every motherfucking second will take a lot away from Brendan. The takedown might not come in the 5th round. Imavov might shuck it off, piece him up a little bit, and then Brendan might get a little desperate for him, fall back on the back, try to get him to come down to the ground. Imavov ain't having none of it. Brendan gets up, manages to survive, and we find ourselves in a situation where, you know, Imavov lost the first 2 rounds, but 10-8, hit a 10-8 in the 3rd round type shit. You know what I mean? And we get a draw. I'm rocking with the dog, though, because I think he finds his submission, man. I think he's good enough. When he gets this thing to the ground, I absolutely believe that he's good enough to find a submission on Imavov, especially a frustrated Imavov in the 2nd round. God forbid if he catches him in the 1st round and just gets him down early, like in the first 60 or 90 seconds, and just works on him and works on him and works on him and frustrates him for the, you know what I mean, 3 minutes. And now Imavov's in that state where it's like, man, I'm just kind of surviving and holding on to the arms and getting smacked in the ears a bit. And that's when you slip, and Allen slipped something in because, you know what I mean, you slept on me. You looked up at the clock for the 15th time. You saw that we only had like 29 seconds left. You know what I'm talking about? You looked at the crowd, you looked at the judges, you did your little whatever you did, and I slip it in and choke you smooth unconscious. Like you don't tap, the ref don't come over to lift your arm. Jeremy Horn, Chuck Liddell type situation. You know what I'm talking about? Where the motherfucking buzzer go and motherfucker Allen get up to walk over to his corner and motherfucker Imavov still just laying on the goddamn floor face down sleeping. Ha! Yeah, I'm talking about. It is what it is, man. Moicano versus Saint Denis. Moicano is a plus 210 on the money line, and Saint Denis a minus 275, and I am still very much on Saint Denis, man. You know what I mean? Benoit, God of War, Saint Denis to be a bit too much for Money Moicano. He's not going to slip up the way that Jalen Turner did. You understand what I'm saying to you? Benoit Saint Denis is not going to walk out. You know what I mean? My bad, I'm getting messages all up at the top of my phone. But Benoit, he's not just going to walk off. You know what I'm talking about? So that's that with that. It's Oki, Nora, Victor, Taylor, Aylin, Ludovic, Omar, Ivan, Zayn, Gabe, Brian, Gomes. I ain't even talk about that. Gomes, Allen, and Saint Denis. Hold on, man. My bad, man. Brief intermission and all that, man. One of my daughters was hitting the phones out front, needed me to hand them something. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, Benoit's not walking off. You know what I mean? Benoit clips and hurts Moicano, which I see him doing. He's going to fucking finish. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. I like Moicano. He's just not, he's not that dangerous, man. And he's not that fucking durable, if we're being honest with each other. And something he needs to be in this matchup, because Saint Denis he's going to hit him. He's going to clip him. He's going to catch him. He's going to hurt him. You know what I'm talking about? I wouldn't be surprised if he got him out of there via submission, but he's going to get him out of there inside the distance, man. This thing ain't going 25 minutes, not my personal opinion, man. Yeah. Oki, my bad. Oki, Nora, Victor, Taylor, Aylin, Ludovic, Umar, and Ivan. That's what the prelims look like. Zayn, Gabe, Brian, Gomes, Allen, and Saint Denis. That's what the main card looked like. Gomes currently sitting at plus 205 on the money line. 13-2. He's going against Brito. 17-3-1. Currently sitting at a minus 265 on the money line. And I am still very much so on the Gomes side. I do not believe Brito will be able to find a finish on Gomes. I don't believe he'll be able to find that chin to clip and disconnecting from his consciousness. I do not believe that he will be able to find a submission to get him out of there inside the distance via submission. And I do not believe that he will significantly separate himself from somebody like Gomes to produce the better all-around body of work absolutely everywhere over the course of 15 minutes to secure the decision. Neither one of these individuals are high-volume strikers, so let's get that out the way. Is Brito the more dangerous individual out of the two? He has proven to be the more dangerous individual out of the two. This is true. You understand what I'm saying to you? I do believe Gomes to be the one with the better IQ. Bit sharper, bit smarter. Picks his shots a bit better. You understand what I'm saying to you? The reach, not really a problem. I think Gomes only has it by an inch, but the height very much will play into this matchup. with those kicks, I said it before, man, Gomis will slow the action down, man. He is very good with his kicks, too. I'd very much like to see these two motherfuckers go out there and go at it like Paul Felder and motherfucking Edson Barboza. You know what I'm talking about? That was a leg kick motherfucking, I mean, boy. Two motherfuckers that can kick, too, when it comes to leg kicks. And they was just trading out that motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? I'd like to see something like that here, man, because while Brito has some very vicious kicks, Gomis has some very vicious kicks in his own right. And he's a bit more diverse in the kicking department, in my personal opinion, man, as he uses a bit more tools in that department, man. The teeps, the side kicks, the body kicks, the obliques, the calves, the inside. Yeah, I mean, this motherfucker throws a nice, he's got a nice kicking game, man. You know what I mean? Why his jabs, his 1-2s, his counters. Nothing to frown on this young man about. I do believe he's, you know, as I said, he's a bit sharper, a bit smarter, and a bit more of a technical practitioner out of these two, you know, up there on the feet in the striking department, where Brito is a bit more powerful, also a bit more reckless and a bit more aggressive, which sometimes works very much into his favor. But Gomis is very good at what he does by slowing down the action. You know what I'm talking about? Not allowing his opponents to necessarily be able to implement their game plan the way that they would like to. And I see that this fight going very much like that, man. And again, Gomis by decision. Unanimous decision. 2 rounds to 1. Maybe we find ourselves in a split decision type situation, but the nod's still gonna go to Gomis, in my personal opinion. The cleaner, the crisper work, it's gonna be done by him, man. And I don't necessarily know what Brito, if anything, Brito will be able to do if he locks up and secures a takedown against Gomis, because Gomis, again, like I said, very much is an individual who uses the long limbs that he possesses to his advantage very fucking well. You know what I'm talking about? In every department. So that's why I'm on him. Whoo! Let's talk about it, man. It's 14 fights on this motherfucker now. 1, Nora's a dog. 2, Victor's a slight dog, but he ain't in no plays. But he's still a dog. You know what I mean? 3, Ivan. Same as Victor. Slight dog. They're both plus 107. Both fights I want absolutely nothing to do with, but still picks all in the same. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights on the prelims, and I like 3 dogs: Nora, Victor, and Ivan. The rest of them, I like the favorites in Oki, Taylor, Aylin, Ludovic, and Umar. You know what I'm talking about? Zaim, he was a dog. It's pretty much a pick'em fight now, but he is on the lower side of it, so we can still call him a dog. That's 4. Gabe's definitely a dog at plus 420. That's 5. Brian's a favorite. Gomis is a dog. That's 6. Allen's a dog. That's 7. And Benoit's a favorite. So 7 and 7. Ain't that about a bitch? 7 dogs and 7 favorites on a 14 fight card, man. We gonna have to see how it play out, man. Shake these dice. See how these motherfuckers lay, man. I tell you what, though, I'm confident. You know what I mean? Zaim, it should be where it's at now as a pick'em. He is one of the dogs. I'm confident that Zaim gets the job done, though, and I'm confident in Gomis, man. You know what I'm talking about? I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't going to apply a swap-out option as far as the Gomis leg was concerned on a parlay or 2. But I am very much on the Gomis side, as I am on Allen, too. But there will be a swap-out option applied to that leg as far as parlays are concerned as well. You know what I mean? Because my foundation, who you can't tell me nothing about, my personal opinion on this card, man, is very much Omar, Taylor, and Oki. You know what I mean? Imagine Omar, Taylor, Oki, Zaim, Gomis come through. Nice little 5-legger. You know what I'm talking about? Cap it off. That 5th leg with Gomis at plus 205. Huh? I can fuck with it, man. You know what I mean? That's that with that, though. I already kept y'all motherfuckers for too long, man. I was just supposed to run through this motherfucking list from bottom to top, momentarily stopping with motherfucking Taylor and Vince. Here the fuck I am. I ain't even finished half of this motherfucker. And we all the way up in 50 minutes, man. God damn. My bad, y'all. I do appreciate y'all for tapping in, though. That's that with that, man. 14 fights. And for what it's worth, I like 7 dogs, man. But if we talking about who I really like, because that Victor fight is a pass and that Ivan fight is a pass, you know what I mean? And Gabe is just a dog play, so you feel me? I'm confident. I'm confident in Gomis. I'm confident in Zaim, and I'm confident in Nora. That's 3 dogs that I'm highly confident in. And I'm on the line with Gabe. You know what I mean? And I'm on the line with Allen. Because while I believe Allen to be able to be the one to produce the better body of work and possibly sink in that submission, I do also believe that Imavov could clip and disconnect him from his consciousness somewhere inside those 15 minutes if he catches him slipping. So it is what it is. Confident dogs, Nora, Zaim, and Gomis. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all for tapping in.